Like I mentioned briefly before, LEGO Batman 2 is one of the first LEGO games to have DLC. The absolute first would be LEGO Harry Potter Years 5 through 7, but that's not the topic at hand. There were 2 character DLCs that were released with this game that initially was a pre-order bonus for console versions, or at the beginning just Xbox. Just an aside real quick, never pre-order games. It's a toxic practice in the industry, and pre-ordering only gives these greedy executives more reason to mandate it from their developers. Don't give these dingoes your money before you even know the quality of the game. And a lot of the time, these bonuses just become available later on. And once you know it, that's what ended up happening with LEGO Batman 2. They later were released for $5 a pop on the Xbox Live and PSN marketplaces. They never were released on PC though, not officially at least. The DLC files are available online and it's pretty easy to mod it into your game on PC. Now, I haven't done it, wink, but if you do decide to do that, just be cautious of the files you download. Of course. And again, I'm not saying I've done it, but if I did, I'd say that these DLC packs are barely worth the effort of taking the time to drag and drop the files into the game folder. I've only covered 3 of the 10 DLC characters, so I can't speak about too many, but LEGO Batman 2 has a running problem of not enough abilities to go around. And while they made this game's roster smaller to account for that, these extra 10 don't really add much. It's cool to see these characters in the game, sure, but the 2 LEGO DC games that follow this one do these characters leagues better. It felt like they made these 2 DLC packs in an afternoon, which is a terrible vibe to have for anything in a video game, even a crappy pre-order bonus. That being said, shame on Warner Bros. Interactive for not porting the DLC to Steam. You really couldn't fork over 2.2 kilobytes worth of game file? This guy here is the award winner of the biggest simp in DC Comics. I don't know about you guys, but if a guy came up to me saying that we were lovers in the ancient Egyptian times, I'd probably have the same reaction as Hawkgirl. This dude is crazy. And I gotta say, they made him look more crazy in this game than how he acts whenever Hawkgirl is in the same room as him. I'm not a fan of whatever is going on with his eyes. Like, I get it. They're doing the same thing they do with Batman, where they make his eyes white because that's how it is in the comics. But the eye holes in the helmet for Hawkman are way bigger than they should be, and he looks like he does not know what's going on 100% of the time. In this game, though, he gets 2 abilities. One, obviously, is flight with, his wings, but he also has strength. Oh, and his Thanagarian mace packs quite the punch. Is he gone? You're sure?
Yeah, dude, yes.
You saw him leave.
I swear on my firstborn.
Wow. Really? Okay then, I guess let's talk about Hawkgirl. Here's Hawkgirl. And see, that's a lot better. Her eyes are all white, but they're not huge bug eyes. I don't know how they managed to get this one right but mess up so badly with Hawkman. It's like there are 2 designers that went head to head on whose eye design was better, but no one wanted to tell the guy who designed Hawkman's eyes that it looked bad because his dad was a Warner Bros. Executive or something. So they kept the better one for Hawkgirl and the bad one for Hawkman. Lucky for us though, Hawkgirl is the better character anyway. That's why she's ranked higher than Hawkman, because they are identical in every other way. Flight, strength, Thanagarian mace, boom. We got the clown princess of crime up next, and just like everything about her relationship with the Joker, I just feel bad for her in this game. The Joker basically ditched her to have this romance with Lex Luthor, leaving her to rot in Arkham Asylum. Of course, it's not surprising at all. Harley Quinn has made quite the transformation as a character in DC mythos in the past decade, basically right after this game came out. She now operates as mostly an independent villain slash anti-hero, rather than just, Joker's woman. And for good riddance too. Harley Quinn and the Joker are the definition of an abusive relationship, and pretty much every other depiction of her is Harley Quinn by herself, or working with Poison Ivy as her new partner. One thing I will say though is that Harley Quinn is starting to become oversaturated in DC media. I like her show on HBO Max, and Margot Robbie's depiction is alright, but it's time to step back from Harley Quinn a little bit. The recent Suicide Squad game was a disaster, and there's a Suicide Squad anime featuring Harley that is being released in July 2024. There's just too much Harley. DC frequently forgets about the vast arsenal of characters at their disposal, and there's more than just Batman and his villains. I get that Batman sells, but come on. Excuse my rant though, let's talk about her in this game. Harley Quinn having agility is common sense, but what's not common sense are the physics of her hammer. She pulls it out of nowhere, and it functions the same way as Alfred's platter, or Captain Boomerang's boomerang. It's a welcome feature though, as are her movement animations. It's cool to see characters walk atypically, and it's the small things that really count in this game. Returning from LEGO Batman 1 with a way cooler design is Batgirl. Barbara Gordon is by far the best Batgirl, and you see I know that it's Barbara Gordon because of the red hair. In the first game, Batgirl had the ability to use suit pads, basically making her exactly the same as Batman gameplay wise. I regret to inform you though, they took that privilege away from her in this game. You could definitely make a case for sexism here, but you know, I'm not going to do it. Now I know exactly why Batgirl can't use suit pads in this game, but I'm going to save that for a few segments from now. Bear with me. But this is a huge downgrade for Batgirls everywhere. And by Batgirls plural, I mean just this one. Thankfully though, she still has a few things to her. The first are her batarangs. They operate the same as the boomerang ability, but it just felt wrong to call the batarangs boomerangs. Obviously, I can't call anything other than batarangs. So while the boomerang and batarang abilities are different by name, they function the exact same way. Also, Batgirl has the grapple ability. You know, you see those orange hooks with a little Batman symbol on the ground and you can zip right up or pull things off the wall. Hey, it's the other guy you play as for the majority of the story, aside from the titular character. Now, despite the jokes I made that the alter ego of Robin in this game is Dick Grayson, as we discussed in the last part, it really is Tim Drake. After all, it was some mistake made in development, and really it does not matter at all. So it's my headcanon that this Robin is Dick Grayson anyway, because the concept of canon is ultimately pointless at the end of the day. What you want to be an official event in a fictional universe is your decision. Screw what Feige says. Robin in this game is what happens if you combine the abilities of Dick Grayson and Batgirl. Robin is equipped with batarangs, or wingdings if you want to get technical, but that's a stupid name and I'm not going to call it that. And Robin can also grapple. And then Robin has the suit pad ability that Dick Grayson has, which in reality, the Robin suit pad ability is in the game because of Robin, not because of his alter ego. Now, of course, the Robin suits are being represented in this list later on because they're better than vanilla Robin, which goes to show that Robin is pretty much nothing without him being able to change to different suits. Well, not nothing. Nothing would be the Goons. From one Robin straight to another. This is the Damian Wayne Robin, confirmed by the words in between the parentheses. This Robin was made available through the Underwhelming Hero DLC, and he doesn't really differ much from the last Robin with the exception of the design. This Robin has a different hairpiece and has a little bit of green sprinkled throughout the suit, a color that is absent with the standard Robin. But Damian Wayne Robin doesn't differ at all from the standard Robin, which leads me to my rant. In LEGO Batman 1, Robin and Nightwing are basically the same. You use a Robin suit pad, and while they still operate the same, they still have unique suit designs, which is why I separated the special suits of Robin and Nightwing in LEGO Batman 1, and the same for Batman and Batgirl. However, in this game, when you step on a suit pad as Damian Wayne Robin or the next guy I'm covering, you don't get a unique look. Damian Wayne Robin's special suits look identical to the standard Robin. When you switch, you'll even notice that in the upper left corner, your name switches to just Robin, not Robin Damian Wayne, as if you never played as any Robin other than the main Robin. Whew, now the word Robin sounds weird. But it's for this reason that Batgirl can't use Batman suit pads, because she would just turn into Batman, which doesn't make logical sense. At least with Damian Wayne, you can argue, yeah, his special suit variants look the same as Tim's, but it's still Robin, so it doesn't matter. Blah. But you can't do that with Batgirl. You can't just justify anyone other than Bruce Wayne magically turning into Batman, aside from, like, I don't know, Terry McGinnis. From another Robin, straight to the spin-off. Yeah, Nightwing also was included in the Heroes DLC, which feels kind of wasteful, since Nightwing has no differences in abilities to the Damian Wayne Robin, or regular Robin. I support Nightwing making the cut for the DLC over Damian Wayne. Like, if we could switch one of them out, I'd switch out Damian Wayne in a heartbeat. But let's be real, why wasn't Nightwing in the base game? I'd wager him to be one of the more important members of the Bat family, and he was the 6th character on the roster in the first game. What's that? Are you telling me that Warner Brothers, and by extension TT Games, wanted to goad players into giving them more money, but they also inadvertently gatekept a large portion of their player base by making a pre-order bonus for Xbox players only until releasing it on PSN Marketplace years later and never bringing it to PC ever? Sounds about right. But that's not even the worst thing. Remember that issue I had with Damian Wayne Robin, and that the developers didn't even bother giving him a unique design for the special suits? Well, I'm horrified to tell you that Nightwing doesn't even get a special look. At least you can rationalize with Damian Wayne. You know, you could say the design doesn't change much anyway. They're both Robin. But with Nightwing, the dude changed colors and hairdo and personality. There's no reason for him to just revert to regular Robin every time he steps on a suit pad. Even the name of the character and the icon, again, just goes back to Robin. Incredible laziness. And to think these guys make up 20% of all DLC characters. Ugh. Also, he has, batarangs, grapple. And you know, I might be nitpicking with this one, but Nightwing holds batons always, but pulls out a batarang when he goes to aim. I think it would have been cool if batons acted as a boomerang. If Harley can boomerang her comically large hammer, this doesn't seem like a big ask. Here he is. The main man. The Bat one guy. The Bat guy. Okay, I really should have thought about how I was going to land that. But it's the main character, and you can bet your bottom really big penny that you play this guy probably more than any other character. You definitely play him the most in story mode, but even in the open world, there are a ton of rooftop parkour sequences that are designed specifically for Batman suits. And, Robin with his suits, for that matter. You can see 2 or more of Batman's special suits along the course of the rooftop sequence, and a lot of the time you have to use one of Batman's suit's abilities to open up another suit pad, which would be needed to complete the course to get the gold brick. Now, if you have characters with the same ability as the special suits, you can probably just switch between the characters you need. But there's not a replacement character for all of the abilities you can get through the Batman and Robin special suits. But hey, we can't talk about those yet. But just like Robin, Batman has his batarangs and grapple, and really he doesn't show much of a difference from the first game aside from a different suit selection, a higher resolution, and being able to talk. Also, in the final level, when you beat Lex Luthor and he's on the ground, a blue bat symbol appears on the ground, and you interact with it to deliver the final blow, which concludes the entire campaign. And yeah, the game won't accept any character other than Batman. Not an ability, it's barely an inconvenience in the level, but it's rather charming if I'm going to be honest. Batman again? Oh, sorry, dyslexia. Morbius! Man-Bat returns from LEGO Batman 1, and this guy, just like Killer Moth, suffered in the last game. He was born to fly. Forced to glide. That's what he said in the first game, but not really because, he didn't talk. Luckily, in LEGO Batman 2, his wings finally give him the thing he wanted to do. Fly. I'm happy for the guy, truly, but something that isn't immediately obvious from looking at him is his sonic ability. Man-Bat didn't have the sonic ability in the first LEGO Batman game, even though I thought he should have, so it's good to see he's getting his due here. But this time he can shoot sonic balls at targeted objects. I tested it, and the sonic balls don't really serve much of a purpose outside of combat. It's pretty difficult to take out glass using the sonic balls alone. Like, you can almost get there, but not quite. And there's really no point in using it as a replacement for the standard screen. Hey, Editor Me back again. Just want to let you know that Man-Bat also has strength. Now, it turns out Man-Bat, to be honest, it would probably
bump him up in the ranking a little bit, but you know what? It's just Man-Bat. You know, it's just Morbius. I'm not really too shook up about it. He might go maybe 3 spots above, is my thinking, but you know, that's marginal. So we're just gonna keep it that way. He just say, yeah, Man-Bat should be a little higher, but I don't really care enough to totally shake up the list because it would require moving characters from different parts, but you know, whatever, you get it.
Here's the second villain from the Villain DLC pack, and also the third Flash villain in this roster. Oh, and also the last Flash villain in this roster. Now, okay, here comes another rant. You guys know my qualms with Gorilla Grodd in this game, and I think Captain Cold is more worthy of a spot than Grodd anyway, and as I'll get into. Back in the Gorilla Grodd segment, I mentioned that they didn't seem to want to include the main Flash villain in this game, and that villain is Flash Uno Reverse. Not to spoil it, but the Scarlet Speedster is the only character with speedy tendencies, and I think another speedster, like maybe Reverse Flash, would be in higher demand over just another strong gorilla. And by golly, are fast characters fun to play, and it wouldn't even be hard to reskin Flash to accommodate, you know? But this is Captain Cold, and he's definitely a guy you're going to use. I'm also introducing 2 out of 3 of Captain Cold's abilities as new ones, and it all has to do with that cold gun of his. Sure, he can target things, that's the old one, that's not new, but the gun also has the ability to freeze water with the all new freeze ability. It's as simple as it sounds. You can freeze to make platforms, climbable walls, or even to save a brain dead citizen in peril that somehow got stuck in the fire hydrant water spout. In the first Lego Batman game, the freeze ability was exclusive to Mr. Freeze, so it's nice to see that it's been expanded to more characters. Captain Cold's final ability is an extension of the freeze ability, also used with the cold gun. I'm going to call them ice switches. I'm not sure what their official name is, but that seems like it's good enough. And when you hit these switches with a cold weapon of any kind, it'll cause ice to spray over a hatch and release whatever it's holding. Freeze is actually a pretty common ability that you're going to need in the levels and mostly in the open world, because there are a ton of those, you know, citizen perils with the fire hydrant, and you're going to need them for obstacle courses. But there are better characters for this purpose.